Good morning, all you brain maniacs. I'm here to talk to you today as a follow-up on our fourth video. And there's a lot to talk about. John, do a scan over here. I'm gonna take my coat off because we've got a little bit of work to do today. Even though it's the Lord's Day, we're gonna talk about a few things and we're supposed to rest. So we're gonna make this fun, not work. All right, to start off with, I mentioned it's a good Lord's Day, and the book is all about faith, hope, and love. Some people ask, Joe, why in the world did you do this? Why did you write that book? And also, why do you keep droning on about the same old thing? You already told everybody you got a pickle brain, and that is the truth. That's what it boils down to being. The truth of the matter is, if you're dealing with somebody that has Alzheimer's, then your life is insanity. And you better find some faith and hope and love. And there's a whole bunch of good stuff in the good book. We're going to be going to church in a little while. I want to start off by saying a few things about what this is about. Again, this is about giving you confidence in yourself, so when you approach these doctors, and I've called them IS doctors, psychologists, neurologists, whatever IS they are, so I want to provide you some information that will help you. Now, here, I've got a few notes here, and I want you to follow along. If you followed along today in the past month or so, I've been really trying to do a word of the day. And today's word of the day was very interesting. I kind of stumbled onto it. It's not directly to the brain, but it has to do with your fluid in your ear. And it's spelled P-E-R-I-L-Y-M-P-H. It's similar to the CSF fluid. So I think that that's something that y'all might want to look into. I found that very interesting. So that's the word of the day. I hope that you'll leave comments on the Living with Thunder page. We're hoping to raise money. I'm wearing these hats, like this one's Pizza Hut. They're not paying me, but if you want me to wear your hat, then we can make a little kitty and save up some money to help some of these kids. Children of the lost. That's what that's about. And one of the subject matters I went over with last time was a company called, let me see here, Neurosize. Okay? This has to do with exercising your brain. And they have a special going on, and you can do a promo code GOJOE if you want to. Yep, sorry about that. This is going to be in the extracted out and presented in the YouTube channel for y'all to look at. The other thing I want to talk to you about is about Miss Kathy's elite cruises and vacations. If you've read the book, Living with Thunder, then you'll know that stress will kill you. It about killed me, that's for sure. 65% of people caregiving for somebody well, they'll either have some sort of seizure or stress out, and their life will never be the same. So you have to work on stress management. They're actually on a cruise. I went on this cruise and did a presentation. Now it's 5 points for learning or how to live with caregiving successfully. Stress management, exercise, nutrition, continuous learning, and the last one was environment. That's very important if you think about it. It spells sense. This represents 500 milliliters of CSF fluid that gets generated in your brain on average a day, total. A third of this bottle represents how much is in your brain at any one time, about 150 milliliters. It does a lot of things. It protects your brain, it delivers nutrients, it picks up waste, and it dumps it into your jugular vein. How it works, the scientists are still learning about all that. To me, it all boils down to common sense, those 5 things I told you. There's a lot of people that weren't scientists that invented or discovered a lot of things in our world that were not doctors or these IS people. It's just people putting one and one together and coming up with something. That's kind of what we're doing here. Anything you like to say, go right ahead. All right. The theory that I have is that this is the fluid that gets in your brain. And also, it's a similar substance in your ear so that you can hear. It's all interrelated. We're not going to get into this today, but this is probably one of the better foods that you can eat. This is go ahead, John. Tell us what it is.
I'm not sure what it is, to be honest.
Well, it's guacamole. It turns into, I don't know why they won't just call it a guacamole. It's a guacamole. I like it. Now, the outside represents the brain. It kind of shapes like the brain. It has this skin on it, and inside it's soft like the brain, and in the middle of it has a seed about like that. It's an avocado, John, but it's probably one of the better things that you can eat. I'll tell you, here's a recipe that you can use. You can take it, put it in a cereal bowl or something, and put walnuts in it, a little bit of honey in it, and it'll be good. All right. What goes on in your brain is creation of is protected by the CSF fluid. Now, my theory is that if we trend people's lives, so it starts this. Now, what if your filters in your brain for filtering out the CSF fluid isn't working? And instead of clear, it starts looking this color. And then it gets a little darker, and you're really forgetting a whole bunch of stuff. And then by the time it's over, now, I'm not necessarily saying that that's the case. I'm just saying these colors represent the kind of chemicals that's in there. Okay, John, we are going to the next thing now. He keeps rolling his eyes at me. All of this to say is that when you're talking about a car battery right here, it has to have certain voltage to turn your engine on, to turn the motor, and it also has to maintain voltage for the, nowadays we've got a computer. So without this thing, you're not going anywhere. And if it doesn't have the necessary voltage, the amps, the current, then you're just going to burn your computer up, or you're going to just not turn it over or anything. You're just not going anywhere. So it has to maintain 12 volts, okay? 12 volts. So if we put this meter on here, we should get 12 volts. Well, see, we're not getting anything. 0. I don't know why. We'll test it again. There we go. 12.3 volts. This water right here, your brain electronic. It has voltage in it, current. And if it start getting polluted, then its ability to maintain voltage diminishes. Sometimes you don't have enough water in the battery, and then at that point, what happens is that you take it to a shop, or they may have to come tow you off, and the mechanic might say, oh, you need a new computer, or you might need all sorts of things. When in fact, all you need to do is add a little water in your battery, and you got a brand new one pretty much. I mean, it's back to operational. Let's see, is there anything else I need to talk to you about today? We talked about the battery. We talked about a polluted CSF. And the crews, if you're taking care of somebody full time, you want to, okay, here's a hint. If you want to spin down, you can do all sorts of things that would help you do that if you're dealing with Medicaid. One of them would be taking a cruise. That kind of goes into other areas we'll talk about later, but for now, this is an option. I would also encourage you to do the exercise your brain. Read a book. Go to this place, especially this neuroscience thing. And I think that's all. Guess I would recommend you going to church today. It's good to commune with others. That's what the good book says. Staying alone and watching all these videos is one thing, but actually being out in public is another thing in terms of services. Okay. Okay, that's all I got to say today. It was just kind of an ad-lib thing today. I thought about it, and I really hope that you get something out of the demonstration about the battery and about how CSF gets polluted. It may show still in clear form, but if you got too much sodium and not enough potassium, there's all kind of weird things that can happen.
That looks unsafe.
Oh yeah, John, that's a good point. That's very unsafe. Don't do what I do. Do as I say.
All right.
Dr. Not Knowing Everything is signing off.